There are a lot of attempts to show that homosexuality is biologically predetermined. They're looking for a gay gene or a biological predetermination. But the fact is, they have not come up with a conclusive biological foundation. Yeah. Homosexuals can change, and that's what we do here. This is a clinic of 8 therapists, myself and 7 other therapists, and we work toward changing men and women who want to come out of homosexuality. My staff is 7 therapists, and we have 1 woman on staff. She deals with the lesbians, and the others are men who work with the men. You see, one of the reasons why a lot of people don't believe or cannot believe that homosexuals can change is because we're not seeing these individuals coming forth and telling their story. The only story we're hearing is, I am gay, I didn't want to be gay, but I realized I was, and now I accept myself, and this is what they call the coming out story. Okay, but we need to hear about another kind of coming out story. And this other kind of coming out story is a person who says, I had these feelings, I had these attractions, I was told I was born gay, I was told that I didn't have a choice, but then I discovered that there were things that I could do by understanding myself, by understanding my childhood, by looking at particular things that happened to me. I began to understand what my sexual attraction was about. And now I am no longer gay, I am no longer living in a gay lifestyle. Here is my wife, here is my family. Now we need to see more of those stories. One of the arguments against the ex-gay is, well, he'd never really changed, he's just suppressing, he's denying his true feelings, he's pretending to be heterosexual. But in fact, when you listen closely to these people and listen to their testimony, listen to their story, they experience a reduction in their same-sex attraction. I'm not saying that there is no more zero homosexual attraction. There may be a little bit left. But these individuals do not need to live their life around their homosexuality. These are people who are choosing to get married and have families, and they experience an authentic sexual attraction for their wife. They experience a significant reduction in their homosexual attraction. We do this work all day long. We work with 135 cases a week ongoing, and I can tell you people do change. I never really chose to go into this kind of work. I never gave it serious thought. I never gave it really serious consideration or study. But I saw a number of individuals who had come to me, and they had these sexual attractions, these homosexual feelings, but they did not want them. It was in contrast to their faith. It was a contrast to their religious beliefs. And so we began to look at understanding them. I had no understanding of the condition, but I saw that they all had a hurtful relationship with the father. They typically had over-involved, intrusive, domineering mothers and distant, detached, or critical fathers. And we began to do this work, and I began to develop an understanding of the treatment, and of course doing some literature review and reading and studying, and I began to see a pattern. While they are looking for a gay gene, the fact is that there is much more scientific evidence for what we call the classic triadic family dynamic. Triadic in the word triangle. In one corner you have the over-involved, intrusive, domineering mother. In the other triangle you have the distant, detached, or the critical father. And then in the other triangle you have the temperamentally sensitive, introverted, artistic, timid, shy boy. Now that might be a temperament. The boy might have been born with a biological temperament, as I've just described it. But that doesn't make a homosexual. What makes a homosexual is that this temperament now is influenced by the mother-father family relationship and pushes this boy from temperamental sensitivity to same-sex attraction. And that is what we focus in on. One of the things that make the treatment of homosexuality difficult is often in the lives of our clients there is an addiction to same-sex attraction. Pornographic, especially internet today, is a big addiction. And they can get onto the gay websites, they can see the pornography. The sexual availability is so incredible today. So one of the problems that we have to address in the course of treatment is the addiction to sexual activity, what we call the impulse. And that is part of the problem. There are other factors that could contribute to the cause of homosexuality. Usually an older brother, if the older brother is very strong and dominant and he's the star in sports, and this particular client is timid and shy and artistic, that could be a factor. You want to get the older brother to work with the younger brother. You want to get the older brother to really align himself and build the little brother up and make him feel good about himself. Also, peers are very important. Other boys that he is in relationship with, you want to make sure that he has a good relationship with them. Also, sexual abuse is another factor. Sexual abuse by an older man can also be a factor. But none of these are as important as the early relationship with the father. Because if he has a solid relationship with the father, then he's not going to be too damaged by his older brother. He's not going to be too damaged by his peers. He's not even going to be damaged by same-sex abuse from an older man if he has a solid relationship with his father. I can tell you that at our clinic alone, about 1/3 of our clients report being sexually molested by an older male or a teenager when they were very young. So there is a connection. However, that in and of itself does not make a homosexual, because there are many heterosexuals who engage in sexual activity when they were very young with an older man and they become heterosexual. How come? The answer seems to be that if there is a need for father's love and there is an emotional emptiness, then these men come along and offer love but really give sex. So sex gets connected with love. And so that emotional need gets filled with sexual addiction. And that seems to be the patterns that we have seen over and over again. The fact is this: it's been over 30 years that the American Psychiatric Association and the American Psychological Association normalized homosexuality. Okay. During these 30 years, there has not been one psychological model of development of the child that leads to homosexuality unless you traumatize the child. If the boy experiences, and the girl too, if the child experiences a particular kind of trauma, a traumatic rejection, that boy is likely to become homosexual. If you do not traumatize a child, he will be heterosexual. That's the reality of it. The child is capable of becoming a homosexual or a heterosexual, but it's our responsibility as parents and as educators to take these children and direct them toward their natural, biologically determined gender, which is heterosexuality.